Hello? When your mind is concentrated, you have very strong power. When your mind is distracted, you cannot be very effective in your life, because mind always tries to pleasure five senses. Mind always tries to pleasure desires, wishes. Mind always tries to find something new, something more, something better, something bigger. And because of that, you lose a lot of time and a lot of energy. All greatest people from history, they were able to highly concentrate their mind, and because of that they have ability to create the most inspiring, the most greatest works that helped a lot of people, and they did that for the benefit of all humanity. Today we are going to talk about 3 last steps of yoga that we can find in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It is Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. All those steps, they related with concentration. Dharana, it is concentrating on one object. Dhyana, it is maintain concentration for a longer period of time. And the last one, Samadhi. Samadhi, it is state of enlightenment that comes when we concentrate for very long period of time. So let's talk about each one. Dharana. In Dharana, we train our mind to be focused on one object. In yoga, we can use a lot of different methods. For example, we can use breathing. When we fully concentrate our mind to breathing, we fully understand, we fully observe breathing process. For example, how we do inhale and how we do exhale. And we fully are aware of how we do only breathing. And we try not to distract on some other thoughts, on some other ideas. By doing that, we are using our willpower to make our mind stronger. And the more we learn to concentrate our mind on breathing, the more longer period our mind can be concentrated. In the beginning, it is a little bit easier. In the higher advanced level, of course, it's a little bit harder. So when you learn how to concentrate your mind, then you can make your own decisions. And in life, of course, it is very important and it is very helpful. So please understand, when you have your mind concentrated, you can fully focus your mind on some object, on some task, and by doing that you fully concentrate only to this object. And another example, when our mind is very distracted, our mind always jumps from one idea to another idea. For example, one thought, another thought, another thought, another thought, and our mind always jumps from one to another, to another, to another, from one desire to another, to another, to another. And mind always, always in a rush, always jumping, always searching, always looking for something. So by concentrating our mind, you really make very great and positive impact to your whole life, because when you learn how to concentrate, you can create the more bigger stability inside of your inner world. So you become more stable, you become more aware of what happens inside you and of course what happens outside you in the external world. So what methods we can use, for example, in yoga to practice Dharana, to train our mind to be concentrated on one point, on one object, on one particular task. So in yoga we can use, for example, breathing. We can focus our attention to breathing. We can also do Trataka. Trataka, it is particular practice in yoga when we learn how to concentrate our mind on light of the candle. You know, we only concentrate on light of the candle for some time, and we are trying to learn how to focus our attention. Also, we can chant mantras. By chanting mantras, we also do the same process. We learn how to concentrate our mind. And also, we can concentrate on some, for example, saint people or some deity. It can be in picture, it can be inside of you. It depends on your possibilities. But the main idea that by doing dharana, we take some object and we're trying to concentrate our mind for the most possible time as it's possible. Then comes another step. Then comes dhyana. What is dhyana? Dhyana, it is maintain concentration for longer period of time. So firstly, when we start to do concentration, yes, then we are trying to keep it as long as possible. For example, we concentrate our mind on breathing and we do inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and we are trying to fully understand this process, fully to be aware of this process for as long period of time as possible. For example, Buddha said very interesting about that focused mind see things as they really are. It means that when we focus, when we concentrate our mind on some things, we can understand what they really are. It is very, very interesting. So when we learn how to maintain, how to keep our concentration for longer period of time, then our state of being, it changes. So in such changed state, we can feel different state of being. For example, you can feel that there is no time, you can feel no pain, sometimes you can feel that there is no body, you can feel that, for example, there is no senses. It means that after maintaining concentration, you just go into different state of being. And from that point, we come to the next step, to samadhi. So samadhi, it is very high level state of being, and it is state when we go beyond our mind, when we go beyond our senses, when we go beyond of understanding, when we go beyond of thinking. Because our mind, it holds us in understanding of life through 5 senses. So samadhi, when people who are practicing samadhi, when they go into samadhi, they go beyond all mind, beyond all that usual way of thinking, beyond that usual understanding life. Usually samadhi called pure state of being. It unites jivatma to Paramatma, individual soul with absolute. You know, and there is very interesting explanation. Please imagine that there are our individual soul, like individual Jivatma, and there are like absolute, like the whole Jivatma, like the whole absolute that created all entire universe. So Samadhi state, it is state when you experience, when you connect, when you experience, when your individual soul, when it connects, experience the whole creator, the whole absolute, the higher self. And you know, it is the state when enlightenment happens. So by saying in other words, Samadhi, it is different state of being, and when we reach that, we experience our higher self. It means I really like how Swami Satyananda Saraswati explained that in one of his books, and he said that this connection between our individual Jivatma and between the highest self, this connection already is. There are no distraction between them, but in order to reach that state, we need to learn how to concentrate, we need to learn how to maintain our concentration for long period of time, and actually this is what about meditation. Meditation, it is practice when we work with our mind and when we learn to fully go into our deeper inner world, to experience who we really are. And meditation, actually, it is very hard work. And by trying to calm down our mind, by doing meditation, by doing certain practice of meditation, certain technique, we try to fully calm down our mind, and we are trying to fully stop thinking process. In Patanjali Yoga Sutras, there are very interesting mention about it in the beginning of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It says, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, it means that unity, that connection between our individual Jivatma and absolute, like the whole entire creator. It happens when our mind stops, when our thinking process, it stops. And those concentration practices, for example, Dharana, Dhyana, with its techniques, with its methods, it helps us to reach more higher, more deeper state of our inner being, when we can experience who we really are. So actually it is like the essence of meditation. It is essence of yoga practice. It is essence of of yoga all system. So it is very high level of practice. For example, Samadhi, it is it is level of highest masters. There is only a few. There is not many people can reach that state. Like the highest masters, the highest practitioners who are practicing for probably a lot of lives, from life to life. They try, and after that they, in one of the lives, they finally reach that state. So there are interesting moments that also samadhi, it can be, there are different levels of samadhis. For example, there are samadhi nirvikalpa samadhi, there are samadhi, there are savikalpa samadhi, then nirvikalpa samadhi, and then sahaj samadhi. And there are a little bit, and there are differences between them. For example, in savikalpa samadhi, when you reach that state, so for example, when you do meditation practice, so when you reach savikalpa samadhi, so you reach a little bit of that higher, higher state, like a little. And in meditation practice, sometimes we can find that when wrote about that, that by doing meditation practice, it is possible to reach that state, and it sometimes may happen. Then, for example, nirvikalpa samadhi, it is state when you fully unite with absolute. And Swami Shivananda says that when this state happens, yogi goes beyond birth and death. So this is also very interesting. And the last state, it is sahaj samadhi. And sahaj samadhi, it means that when you reach that state, so then you even come back to your normal, regular life. This state of high level samadhi, it never leaves you. It means you always in a high state of being. This state always are with you, even in usual life. So it's really the highest levels of highest masters. It's very hard to reach such states, but those states are about those states we can find in Patanjali Yoga sutras, and when we do different yoga practice, it helps us to concentrate our mind, it helps us to reach our higher states of self, and of course to realize our real true nature. Very interesting moment that some masters who reach samadhi, some of them, when they come back to real, normal, usual life, they start helping a lot of people. They start helping for whole humanity. And it is very great example how those masters, when they reach all those samadhi highest states, how they, by knowing their own true nature, how they share their knowledge, how they share their experiences, how they share knowledge about yoga, about meditation, about other practices that help people to live life, that help people to realize their true potential, their true nature. And it's very beautiful to see how they inspire other people, how they inspire humanity, and how they help the whole humanity. So actually, yoga as a system, it is system that help us to grow, that help us to become better version of ourselves. It also system that help us to realize and to know and to experience our real true nature and experience our real possibilities. And by practicing different yoga practices, we can expand our true potential and then direct our potential to the benefit of all living beings. So yoga practice, it is not only about doing yoga asanas. It is actually even more about sitting in meditation position for very long time by directing our concentration, our focus inwards, inside, and by trying to reach higher states to understand who we really are. But it's not finish, it's not the end, because after reaching or realizing or experience something, then we need to use it to the benefit of all living beings. So all those experience that we feel, that we experience in yoga practice, they should be directed to the benefit of all living beings, to welfare of all humanity. So basically that's all. Usually teachers says that there is absolutely no need to talk about samadhi because it's just impossible to understand with our mind what samadhi is. So we are beginners. So let's try to do something easy. Let's try to do some yoga techniques that we can use today. Let's do some asanas, let's do some meditation, pranayamas, let's chant mantras, and little by little start growing from inside. Let's start change our character, our inner qualities to better side. And by doing that, we will expand our possibilities, and of course let's direct it for benefit of everybody. All right? That's great. Thank you for watching. Hope that it was valuable for you, and see you next time. Goodbye.